Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a fox. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. Inside the circle, draw a diagonal line as a construction guide to help you place the facial features. On the bottom left side of the head, draw an arc as a guide for the muzzle. Pay attention to the size of this arc in relation to the circle. On top of the head, draw two triangular shapes as guides for the ears. The bottom part of the ear on the right should be inside the head. Below the head, draw a circular shape as a guide for the front part of the body. Use the small marks method to draw this shape too. First make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the shape, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape. Make this shape about 1.5 times the size of the head. To the left, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle as well. Make this circle bigger than the head circle. Don't place this circle too far away from the first shapes or the body will be too long. Under the front part of the body, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the front leg. Bend the line slightly at the top to indicate a joint and again at the bottom for the foot. To the right, draw an angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Bend the bottom of the line for the raised foot. Under the circle on the left, draw a long angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend this line slightly in the middle to indicate the joints. To the right, draw another long angled line as a guide for the other hind leg. Bend this line near the middle to indicate a joint and again at the bottom for the foot. Connect the main shapes using horizontal lines to create the guide for the torso. Add a short line on the right side as a guide for the neck. On the left side of the body, draw a long curved line as a guide for the tail. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye on the left side of the head near the top edge of the muzzle. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. As you darken the shape, make the right side pointier for the corner of the eye. On the bottom left side, draw a short angled line for the inner corner of the eye. The inner corner of the eye should point toward the muzzle. Inside the eye, draw a short line for the slit pupil. Next to the pupil, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. Add a few short lines at the top for fur. On the tip of the muzzle, lightly sketch a small triangular shape for the nose. Darken the nose when you get the size and position right. Make the tip of the nose angular. Draw the bottom of the nose using a small angled line. On the right side, draw a curved line for the nostril. Darken the top part of the nose using a series of short lines. Under the nose, draw a line that curves to the right for the mouth. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. Extend the line to the right so that it's inside the head. The right tip of the mouth should be under the eye. Below the mouth, draw another line that curves to the right for the lower jaw. Follow the path of the initial guide as you draw this line. Extend this line farther to the right than the eye. Darken the top edge of the guide to create the top part of the muzzle. Use the triangular shape on top of the head as a guide to draw the ear. Darken the shape, but make the bottom sections wavier. Draw a series of short strokes along the bottom for the furry base of the ear. Draw more short strokes within the shape for the ear's furry opening. On the right side, draw a curved line made up of short strokes for the outer section of the ear. Use the shape to the left as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Darken the basic path of the guide using short strokes to create the furry ear. Use the other shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the head. Curve the shape of the head on the left side to create the brow. Darken the edges of the head using short strokes to create a furry texture. Use longer strokes on the right side for longer fur. Draw a series of short strokes along the lower edge of the initial circle for the bottom of the head. Add a few more short strokes inside the head to create a furry texture. Use the second line from the right that's under the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top of the leg slightly wider than the bottom. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the shape to create a furry texture. Draw a curved line on the tip of the foot to separate the toes. Use the line on the right as a guide to draw the other front leg. Lightly sketch the shape of the raised leg around the guideline. Bend the bottom of the shape to create the foot. The bottom of the foot should be round. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use a series of short strokes along the bottom edge to create a furry texture. Draw a couple of short curved lines along the bottom of the shape to separate the toes. Use the second line from the left as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Make the top of the leg wide and gradually make it thinner toward the bottom. When you get the shape of the hind leg right, darken the lines. Bend the shape near the middle for the joint. At the bottom, draw a couple of short lines to separate the toes. Use the angled line to the right as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Use short strokes for a furry texture. Draw a line inside the foot to separate the toes. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Don't overlap the legs that are on this side of the body as you draw the underside. Darken the line on the left side using short strokes to create the tail. Now go over the lines with permanent ink. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Take your time and be careful when you ink your drawing to avoid any accidents. Don't ink the initial guidelines, only the final drawing. When the ink dries, erase all of the guidelines. Now color your drawing. Color the nose, the feet, and the ears black. Leave a thin strip blank on the nose for a highlight. Color the main part of the body using different shades of red. Use colors like red, orange, yellow, and light brown. Leave the bottom part of the head, the underside of the body, and the tip of the tail blank for white fur. Color lightly at first and gradually build up to darker colors. For a light shade of a color, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker shades. Use brown across the body to create shadows. As you color, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Slowly and gradually blend all the colors together. Push down slightly harder on your pencils to blend the colors together. Use gray and a bit of light blue to create shadows on the white fur. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Using ink, draw a few long strokes on the muzzle to create whiskers. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using gray and a bit of blue. Coloring can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep coloring until you're happy with the result, and that's it for the fox. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com, where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.